Pull up a chair and get comfortable. It's time to talk about your federal benefits. Federal Employee Benefit Coordinators presents the FEBC podcast with Elizabeth Inman and Brian Fentress.
Hello. Elizabeth Inman here at Federal Employee Benefit Coordinators. I've got my guest speaker here with us today, Kerin Barngrover with Blue Cross Blue Shield, the federal plan. So excited to be able to bring this expert person here with Blue Cross Blue Shield benefits for your benefit so that you can hear what she's got to say about the 2023 program, 2023 open season coming up.
Yep.
It's a little bit early. We've scheduled this early. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to know we're going to do this. We're going to have her on as a guest as frequently as I can get her on, probably.
Well,
okay.
Thank you.
I can't monopolize your whole time,
You're
Kerin.
fine. I'm happy to be here whenever you need me.
Well,
so,
thank you.
Thank
well, tell
you.
us a little bit, because I know we did this last time, but we'll have some new viewers today.
Right.
So tell us who you are, just a little bit of your background, what your title is.
Sure. Okay.
How that works.
You bet. So my name is Kerin Barngrover. If I've not gotten the opportunity to meet you officially, I'm a senior government account representative for Federal Blue Cross. So I just handle federal employees and annuitants or retirees. So that's been there 35 years, and in most of those years handling federal.
She started when she was a baby.
Yep.
We established that last time.
No babying anymore.
And she and I met for the first time at a health fair. Golly, that would have been 12 years ago.
Gosh, isn't that crazy how time flies?
Instantly liked her.
Oh.
I love the way she helps the employees.
You're so sweet. Thank you. I enjoy it. I feel the same about you.
You were pretty verbal in telling me from the beginning that you felt like our business model was a little bit different than a lot of them you'd seen. And I appreciate
Definitely. Oh, my goodness, yes.
We really are sincere. But then
Yes.
again, I'm a federal retiree, so
Makes a difference.
if it impacts you, it impacts me. That's just kind of the way it
That's
works.
right.
So you can find us on our podcast. That's what you're listening to today. Be sure and share that. Subscribe to the podcast. We want you to tell your friends about our podcast. You can find us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Now, Blue Cross Blue Shield also has a presence on each one of those
We
outlets.
do. Yep, it's at FEP Blue.
FEP Blue? FEP Blue.
That's right.
Okay, well, I knew I'd seen you, but I couldn't have told you where it was.
That's all right.
You can also reach me by emailing elizabeth@febcnow.com. And we're going to have Kerin come on again a little bit closer to open season this year. So if you've got specific questions, email me. Love to get your questions that we can ask live while we're doing our podcast. So
awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So open season will be second week of November to the second week in December of 2023.
Correct.
So what kind of changes are you expecting? What would you tell, having this audience, what would you tell federal and postal employees today, Kerin, to get ready for this year?
Oh, I would definitely say, and I try to do this during health fairs, of course, to always review. There's a page in the big benefit book that all carriers have that oddly, they used to be mailed and now they don't mail them, but they are online. So there is a page dedicated to changes to all plans. So you don't have to hunt and peck to try to find out where the changes have occurred. That would be my go-to page, and I try to tell people that every year so they know. They can educate themselves very quickly by looking at that page and seeing what the changes are.
And they don't have to wait for open season for that,
No,
right?
You're absolutely right. It's available at opm.gov/insurance. But even if you just did FEHB, Googled FEHB changes, you would get that page at OPM. So.
And FEHB stands for the Federal Employee Health Benefit Plan. So we've got postal reform that just passed. we've got changes coming. If I'm understanding correctly, postal employees starting in 2025 will have a Postal Service health benefit plan.
That's correct.
It will not be called the Federal Employee Health Benefit Plan, even though it's still under the umbrella. Is that correct?
Correct. That's absolutely right.
So there will come a time when postal employees will have to be looking separate from
Yes.
federal employees.
Yes.
But not for 2023.
Right. That's right.
So we want to stay clear. Nothing changes for 2023. But I will tell you, Kerin, some of the media outlets that I've been reading, some of the articles that's coming out, I've read that they're anticipating higher volumes even for open season in 2023 because of the announcement of the postal reform that changes their health insurance. Are you getting any information like that?
So some, but it's still, it seems like you get a lot of information closer to the time,
Sure.
It'd be nice if it kind of piecemealed in. It would be so much more helpful.
Yeah,
but
instead of it all hitting
But
at once.
yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But a person would be very wise to stay in the know about those types of things, honestly, because there will potentially be some action with regard to those anticipating retirement and Medicare. So for years, that's one thing I can say now is that for years people didn't have to enroll in Medicare. People being postal employees, they could just take their FEHB health insurance into retirement. Boom, we're done. But now, if you are Medicare age, there's some requirement to enroll in Part A and B. So there'll be some grandfathering in, so don't stress or panic about that. But at any rate, that's one of the changes we'll talk about at some point as we get closer.
And we've already in prior episodes addressed some of those things, and then we'll also be reiterating that through our podcast as well. And you're saying exactly what I've been saying for, ever since postal reform passed, that no more are you going to be able to just lay back and just let things just slip by. You're going to have to be very proactive with understanding your benefits, how these changes are impacting you, speaking specifically this year to postal employees. But I'm telling them, Kerin, it may be postal employees in 2025, but the federal employees better be looking out.
Yeah, I would definitely not put that past them, especially once this is passed and they see how well it works. Yes. Knock on wood, no, it should be fine. But
I've actually read some articles that say that they are really watching and to see how the Postal Service does with the transition. One of the things that I understand is that they're moving them to a cloud enrollment system. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard that yet.
Okay.
For postal, now is that, it may be OPM is doing something to that effect, maybe, actives, of course, use postal ease.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Well, I'm not sure that I completely understand everything I'm reading, but that it's going to be an online platform that they're going to move it all into a kind of a consolidated platform system that'll be totally automated. And then if that works very well, then they'll roll that out to all of the federal.
Yeah, so that's going to be extremely important because what I see too a lot of times, and because we all have that we're safe, no problem attitude, we don't really research things like postal ease, or we don't know how to change our benefits, or we don't. So it'll be really important if they do that to really get to know how to do it.
Because you literally have employees and annuitants that's been on Blue Cross Blue Shield for years they really don't pay attention. And they're going to have to if they're a postal employer or postal annuitant. And a postal annuitant is a retiree. So we get an annuity check that we call a pension, but that's why we're called annuitants.
Right, that's exactly right.
Yes. So anyway, I have also read somewhere where they're anticipating a higher call volume this year because postal reform's been announced. Now, we'll see. Nobody can predict that. But I'm telling you to anticipate that and to go to the website, opm.gov/insurance. Get those books, look at what the changes are ahead of open season, and be prepared so that if you do have to make phone calls, maybe you can make some of those phone calls before open season.
Yes.
In case there is a heavier call volume.
Yeah, because it'll be hard to get through.
Yes.
For sure.
And then for sure, I've seen the articles already out, news releases already out saying that the 2024 open season is going to be a nightmare for phone calls. I can't
Yes,
imagine.
I would imagine it will be.
You might have to change your number.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hopeful the Postal Service will do some kind of meetings where
Yes.
they can make everybody familiar. I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
and they are planning, I think I've heard the term town hall meetings, and they are planning a series of
Good.
videos and meetings and stand-up talks getting ready to come out. So they're in the process of creating all of that now. But it's going to be a
Good.
massive change. And oh goodness, Kerin, I'm probably going to talk outside of your wheelhouse
Yeah,
just a little bit.
that's
but
okay.
2022 was the TSP transition.
Oh,
And just
yeah,
because
outside.
you have been with federal and postal employees, I know you heard.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was not a smooth transition by any stretch.
Yes.
Hopefully, lessons learned.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. With that
this-
many employees, though, trying to take care of all of that.
Yeah,
Oh.
over 600,000 just postal employees will be affected with this postal reform. So that's a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a bunch.
I keep saying, Kerin, I'm so glad I'm not in charge of the communication piece for a change
I
like
can't
that.
can't even imagine the
Yeah.
stress of that job.
I mean, Blue Cross Blue Shield's a big organization. I'm sure you
Right.
guys experience a lot of the same communication type issues when a change is going on.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it's big.
Oh, absolutely. Or yep.
Speaking of how big Blue Cross Blue Shield is, so once again, tell me your title.
It's Senior Government Account Representative.
And so your title or an equivalent type person is available in every state because this
Yes.
podcast goes out nationwide.
Yes, absolutely. There would be a rep that could do that.
So Kerin's in Oklahoma, but there should be a Kerin equivalent in your state. This was one of the most valuable pieces of information I learned, that we actually have a government representative for us in our federal plans for Blue Cross Blue Shield in our state. In your state, you have one. Because you can call Blue Cross Blue Shield. There's even a difference, Kerin. Now you step in here because I'm not
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
I'm not a Blue Cross Blue Shield expert by any stretch, but there you literally have to look for the federal plan because federal employees, postal employees are covered by a different Blue Cross Blue Shield
Right.
than private sector.
That's exactly right. And a lot of times people do get them confused. They think they have Blue Cross. It's Blue Cross. It's the same all across the board, but it's different. You're right.
So therefore, even the phone numbers we have to call to get information is different. Probably the best source would be their card.
It would be. The back of the card is where the customer service number is. So for that state in particular. So definitely.
But now, is that a number on the back of their card the best place to get a hold of their government representative?
So no.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no. So, usually we handle mostly agency HR or, people like you at the top who deal with certain things. But we, of course, are here to help employees as well or retirees.
Yes.
So to get a hold of a rep, maybe say for a meeting, you could reach out to your HR if you're still employed, because they most definitely should know who's handling that state or how to get a hold of them. But the other thing is that on the website for each state, there's it's like, for example, in Oklahoma, it's BCBS OK, so the initials for Oklahoma. It's .com/FEP. Then it takes you to a contact page. So then you can reach somebody like me, typically at one of those pages, that deals with.
Would you repeat that for us?
Yep. Oh, sure. So you would go to that state's website. So in Oklahoma, it's BCBS, so initials for Blue Cross Blue Shield. So BCBSOK.com/FEP, and FEP stands for Federal Employee Program. And then there's just a plethora of information there, but there is a Contact Us link, which will take you to people like me or who do my job. So most definitely you can
Very
find them in
good.
their
Awesome.
state too.
Very good information. Very good information. So we're about out of time today. The time just flies.
It does. There's just so much to talk about.
There is so much to talk about. So I think that we'll end today's broadcast, and then let's plan on talking more about postal reform in our next broadcast. Would that be all right?
That sounds perfect.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us today. Remember, this is the podcast for Federal Employee Benefit Coordinators, and you can subscribe so you'll be notified when this podcast pops up. And we sure want you to share it with your friends. We want to get this information out. I mean, the number one source that we have for benefit information as federal employees, postal employees, is each other. I mean, we ask each other before we'll call HR, before we'll pick up the phone and call Blue Cross Blue Shield. We ask our buddies, we ask our friends. So share this information. Let them know there's a Facebook page, LinkedIn, YouTube. That's how you can reach us. And we're here to help. Karen's here to help, and I can promise you, I have sent her dozens upon dozens of people to call her.
Don't mind a bit.
And that's the reason why I do it, because she doesn't mind a bit.
Nope.
And it's so good to talk about specific things with your health plan. Now, Kerin, when they call you, are you able to even log in and see like what kind of claims and stuff they have?
I absolutely can.
Oh, man,
Yes.
that is so cool.
Not all reps probably have that same capability, and I think it's because of the experience, but I can definitely do that. And they usually have someone they can get with to help them if they need help.
So you have somebody calling you with a question about, say, diabetes medications or treatments or something, and you can see what their history is, and then talk about what kind of coverage. Oh, man, that's so good. That's so good. That's the information we want to bring to you. So thank you for being with us on the podcast today. And next time, share it with your postal employees. We're going to talk specifically about how postal reform is going to impact the Postal Service health benefit plans for postal employees. Thank you for joining us.